alternate Lisa Baru, and coach Robert Klestinski. And now our squad from Logan.
Hello, I'm Owen Barron, junior.
Sandy, senior. Mark Bacalar, senior.
John Markowskis, freshman.
And almost like a second team there in the back row, we have alternate Max Spaulding and Karen Kyle, and coaches Steve Dufferin and Diane Gebhardt. And with us from St. Mary's of Minnesota, the Winona campus, our judge this evening, Dr. Paul Freschel.
Hi, Terry.
Good to see you, Paul.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well. And we were just discussing earlier in the show that we do a promo here before the game taping. And sometimes we do it on one take, and sometimes it takes a few more takes than that. And we were saying how your hair was totally black at the beginning of the season, but now that we're 15 games older, there's a little white in there. We'll be right back with our 15th game of High Quiz Bowl right after this short break.
If you're a high school student considering college, we hope you'll take a look at St. Mary's. St. Mary's College of Minnesota is dynamic and growing. This fall, we welcome the largest freshman class in the history of the college. I'm Tony Piscatello, Vice President for Admission, inviting you to meet our admission counselors this year in your school and to visit our magnificent campus here in Winona. Call us at 457-1-SMC. We'd love to hear from you.
I love your home. Thank you. One number two. I noticed an impressive medallion at the front door when I entered. That's the Star Home Medallion from NSP. They only award it to very special homes. So I've heard. Homes that are energy efficient. That saves you money on energy bills.
Ask about it. NSP's Star Home program. Added value for existing homes as well as new.
It's such a good investment.
Our question authority for College Bowl, or rather for High Quiz Bowl, is a company called College Bowl Incorporated out of Studio City, California. However, any decisions, any problems here in the studios with the questions will be decided by our judge from St. Mary's College, Dr. Paul Freschel. Well, let's begin our 15th game between Weston and La Crosse Logan teams. Dame Edith Stillwell summed up the situation when she wrote, "I think she has been divorced twice too often for a queen, and I don't think Queen Wally would sound well." For 10 points, who was she talking about? Nee, Logan.
Elizabeth II.
No, that's not correct. Weston, do you have any idea? She was talking about Wallace Warfield Simpson, or the Duchess of Windsor. Here's another 10-point toss-up. The title of the military dictators of feudal Japan is the same as the title of a best-selling book-turned miniseries. Bacalar's, Logan.
Shogun.
Correct for 10 points. And we'll go to our bonus categories. And tonight we have a 20-point bonus to start us off for Logan. We'll meet you halfway on this geography bonus, Logan. I will name one half of a pair, and for 10 points each, you name the other. Two countries border the Caspian Sea. The Soviet Union is one. Well, what's the other?
Turkey.
It would be Iran. Second part of the question. The flags of two European countries have a white cross on a red field and nothing else. Denmark is one. Well, what's the other?
Sweden.
No, Switzerland. Here's a 10-point toss-up. In September of 1987, it hosted its first international conference and attracted delegates from Liechtenstein, Luxembourg, Malta, Monaco, and San Marino to discuss the positive aspects of smallness. For 10 points, name this co-principality wedged between France and Spain. Nee, Logan.
Andorra.
Correct. 30-point potential bonus. Ever since the Nina, Pinta, and Santa Maria, ships have been part of American lore. For 10 points each, identify first Robert Fulton's 1807 steamboat.
The Claremont.
Correct. About the nickname of the USS Constitution.
Old Ironsides.
And Captain Ahab's ship in Melville's Moby Dick. Don't remember that one. That was called the Pequod, so we can give you 20 points. It is 19 feet long, teens, weighs 5,060 pounds, carries one 1,100-pound warhead, has a range of 50 miles, is manufactured in China, and has been deployed by Iran along the eastern and northern shores of the Persian Gulf. For 10 points, name this deadly title.
Silkworm.
Barons. Logan.
Silkworm.
Silkworm is correct. We're looking for the missile. Silkworm, 10 points. Here's a 20-point bonus. Peking Man is named for Peking, China, Logan, where it was first discovered, of course. For 10 points apiece, in what country would you find the city of Neanderthal?
France.
That would be West Germany. How about Cro-Magnon?
France.
That's France, for 10 points. Teams, it was originally a measure of the area a yoke of oxen could plow in one day, and differed in size from one locality to another. It is now fixed at 10 square chains. Nee, Logan.
An acre.
That's right. Here's a 20-point bonus. Archaeologists recognize an historic Bronze Age and Iron Age, Logan, but no Golden or Silver Ages. The ancient Greeks, however, followed Hesiod in positing Bronze, Iron, Silver, and Golden Ages. For 5 points apiece, list these 4 ages in the order in which the Greeks believed they occurred.
Gold, silver, bronze, iron.
That's correct. 20 points. Here's a 10-point toss-up. Speed skaters can sprint up to 30 miles per hour. Now for 10 points, at that speed, how far would a skater skate in 15 minutes? Barkaskas, Logan.
7.5 miles.
That is correct. 7.5. We get that by 30 miles per hour times 0.25 or a quarter for our 7.5. Here's a 20-point bonus for Logan. With the recent retirement of Defense Secretary Weinberger, only one of President Reagan's original cabinet members remains in office. For 10 points each, who is this lone black in the cabinet, and what department does he head? Samuel Pierce with the Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD. Teams, for 10 points, what satanic name is given to someone who takes the opposing side in an argument just for the sake of argument? Bacalar's, Logan.
The devil's advocate.
That is correct. For 10, and another bonus. Not all nations have their own languages. For 10 points per part, identify first the 2 principal languages of Canada.
French and English.
That's correct. The principal language of Zaire.
English and Swahili.
No, that would be French. And the third part of the question, the 3 main languages of Switzerland.
German, French, and English.
And Italian. Italian. So I'm sorry we can't give you any points for that part, but we can give you 20 points for the other 2 parts. Teams, he wrote The Interpretation of Dreams and is known as the father, Nee, Logan.
Sigmund Freud.
That's right, for 10 points. And here's a 30-point bonus for Logan. I'll give you 3 clues to this American writer. If you get it on the first clue, we'll give you all 30 points. 20 points if you can get on 2 clues, and 10 if you need all 3. The 1977 film Julia was inspired by passages in her memoir, Pentimento.
Anne Frank.
2 of her memoirs are An Unfinished Woman and Scoundrel Time.
Golda Meir.
She wrote the plays The Little Foxes and The Children's Hour.
Browning.
Lillian Hellman. Teams, we're all familiar with the strains of the Marines hymn and the Battle Hymn of the Republic. For 10 points, what transcendentalist author wrote a work entitled Concord Hymn? Fox, Weston.
Thoreau.
No. Logan, do you have any idea? Mr. Dean.
Emerson.
Emerson is correct. Ralph Waldo Emerson. We'll give you a bonus, 30-point bonus. James Branch Cabell's Jurgen and Du Bois Hayward's Porgy are both one-name classics. For 15 points each, Logan, who wrote these other one-namers? First, Aida. That was Verdi. How about Candida, spelled with an A at the end?
Voltaire.
That was George Bernard Shaw. Teams, it premiered in 1974 and is still going strong on PBS television. Nee, Logan.
Sesame Street.
No, that's not correct. Weston, for 10 points, name this highly acclaimed one-hour science series whose name in Latin means new. Briggs.
Nova.
That is correct for 10 points, and we'll give Weston a 25-point potential bonus. The 40th chapter of the book of Job contains a description of a fantastic creature, of which it is said, quote, stiff as cedar wood his tail, close-knit the sinews of his groin, bones like pipes of bronze, gristle like plates of steel. For 25 points, Weston, in the Bible, what name, now synonymous with huge, is given this beast? That was the behemoth. Behemoth. Teams' first television offer was to play Coach, the bartender on NBC's Cheers. He refused, saying he wasn't meant for television. Nee, Logan.
Cosa Santo?
No, that's not correct. Weston? He refused, saying he wasn't meant for TV, but finally signed with CBS Sports as a commentator on condition that he never have to fly to any games. For 10 points, name this former real-life coach, current commentator, confirmed aerophobe, and author of the best-selling, Hey, Wait a Minute, I Wrote a Book. Briggs, Weston.
John Madden?
That's correct, for 10 points. Here's a 25-point bonus. If you were a barnyard animal in George Orwell's political satire, you'd only know 7 commandments. Then you'd only know 1. For 25 points, recite that single commandment. All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. Here's a 10-point toss of teams. Architect Andrea Palladio, painter Canaletto, and composer Antonio Vivaldi all did a large portion of their creative work in the same splendid northern Italian city. Nee, Logan.
Florence?
No, that's not correct. Weston, for 10 points, what city? Briggs.
Venice?
That's correct, for 10 points, and here's a 20-point bonus for Weston. Recombinant DNA is one of the most important techniques in the emerging science of genetic engineering. It can be said to trace its roots to the works of the 3 men who won the 1962 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine for their discovery of the double helix shape of the DNA molecule. Now, for 5 points each, or 20 points for all 3, Weston, identify that trio. That was James Dewey Watson, Francis H.C. Crick, and Maurice H.F. Wilkins. Here's a 10-point toss-up. This famous Greek philosopher considered Oedipus Rex by Sophocles a perfect example of a tragic drama. This philosopher also wrote the Poetics. For 10 points, name him. Nee, Logan.
Plato.
No, Weston? Aristotle. Purged in the mid-60s, rehabilitated in 1973, purged again in 1976, rehabilitated in 1977, he became the powerful Communist Party deputy chairman and chairman of the Central Advisory Committee. For 10 points, who is this much rehabilitated and now peaceably retired Chinese leader? And that would be Deng Xiaoping. That buzzer means we've reached the conclusion of our first half of Game 15 of High Quiz Bowls. Be back to meet our teams. Check on that score right after this break.
It hasn't inconvenienced us at all. We always get the kids for their baths first at night, and then I usually wash a couple of loads during the week, and then most of the wash on Saturday morning. We didn't know what it was like to save energy when we were kids, really. And now just by using this, we're saving energy and saving money at the same time. For sure, we've saved about 30% every month.
NSP's optional time-of-use electric rate. Spare time energy that saves you money.
Call your local NSP office for more information.
Let's party! Touring in 1989, McDonald's double cheeseburger is just 89 cents.
I find that hard to believe.
Believe it. We're celebrating with a big taste of 2 all-beef patties and golden melted cheese.
Good grub.
Good double cheeseburger, and it's just 89 cents.
May I say, this is going to be a lovely year.
Thank you, Eddie.
So start 89.
Come on.
With a McDonald's double cheeseburger for just 89 cents.
And I get change back from $1. I think.
A major office products distributor was overstocked, and A1 Office Liquidators just purchased 6 semi-loads for pennies on the dollar. Get huge savings now on desks, chairs, files, computer furniture, supplies, and much more. The largest office furniture selection and savings event ever held in the Eau Claire area for 7 big days. On now. A1 Office Liquidators for an A1 deal. Phone 833-A1-A1. Sale held on a huge building 1/2 mile north of Presto on Highway 53.
We played our first half of our High Quiz Bowl Game 15. At this point, we're at halftime. Where do we stand score-wise, Paul?
The score is Logan 125, Weston 30.
Okay, thank you, Paul. We'll talk with you later on in the program. Okay. Right now, I'd like to speak with our two teams, and first to Miss Riggs of Weston. Can you tell us a bit about your school, please?
Well, Weston High School is located in equal distance between the cities of Casanova and Lime Ridge. It is situated in the rolling hills off the south central part of the state. The school colors are blue and white, and our mascot is the Silver Eagle. The high school population is 135 students. We are very proud of the large percentage of our students that go on to higher education after graduation. Weston is a progressive school that keeps up with advances in education and is making full use of computers and videotaping in the classroom. We also have modern equipment in our vocational education classes. Our students are well represented by our student council that works closely with the school administration and faculty. Along with their many functions, they hold a winter carnival the last week of February. The clubs and organizations of our school compete on the state level in FFA, FBLA, forensics, math, music, science, shop, and government. In sports, we are part of the Ridge and Valley Conference, and both boys and girls teams have been strong representatives of our school. We are glad to be competing in this high quiz bowl. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Riggs. Appreciate you folks making the trip and joining us here this evening. Now we'd like to speak to our squad from Logan, and Ms. Kyle, can you tell us a bit about your school, please?
Logan High School has a faculty of 80 and a student population of 930. In addition to a college prep curriculum with accelerated classes, Logan offers career education with courses in business, home economics, and technical education. The goal of our activities program is to balance athletics with aesthetics and to recognize the individual and group achievements. This year, more than 600 students are involved in 42 different activities. We are especially proud of our one-act play, which has advanced to state competition, our marching band, which placed first at the Maple Leaf Parade in Class A competition for the third consecutive year, and the Logan Show Choir, the Class Act, which will be representing Wisconsin and Hollywood at national competition this spring. Groups such as our Academic Assistance Group and SWAT are nationally recognized model programs. In academic activities, our academic decathlon team finished third at state, our future problem-solving team represented Wisconsin at nationals, and our high quiz team finished in second place last year. Logan also has an excellent athletic program. We are proud of our boys cross-country team, which finished fifth at state, and sophomore diver Crystal Winkler, who advanced to state competition. In addition, our winter sports season is off to an excellent start. We would like to thank St. Mary's College of Winona and WKT and the many sponsors of High Quiz Bowl who made this competition possible.
Well, thank you, Miss Kyle. The only thing I can say is I think you have a very fine percussion section in your band, don't you? It seems to me I know somebody who is one of the drummers in that band. My brother, Tim, Paul, but that doesn't mean anything at all, okay? Doesn't mean anything at all. We're glad to have you folks with us here from Logan this evening, and we wish you the best of luck in the second half. We'll have that second half of High Quiz Bowl game 14, or rather 15 for you, coming up right after this short break. Well, Paul, back at it. Game 15. You all set?
I'm ready to go.
All right, let's go right at it. Here's our first 10-point toss-up of the second half teams. The smallest ones, called diamond dust, may be just 5/1000ths of an inch in diameter, while others have been measured at several inches across. An average size one takes 8 to 10 minutes to fall to Earth from a height of only 1,000 feet. Now, for 10 points, what are these hexagonal winter objects? Bacalar's, Logan.
Snowflakes.
That's 10 points for Logan. And we have a 30-point potential bonus for Logan. The Earth spins like a top as it responds to both sun and moon. For 15 points apiece, identify this axial spinning.
Rotation.
That's called precession of the equinoxes. Then for 15 points, does it take the North Pole about 26, 26,000, or 26 million years to complete its axial circuit?
26,000.
That's 15 points. The Harlem Globetrotters were organized. The first talkie was released. Freud published The Future of an Illusion, and Wilder, The Bridge on San Luis Rey. Showboat opened in New York. Trotsky was expelled from the Communist Party, and Lindbergh flew the Atlantic. Nee, Logan.
1929.
No, that's not correct. Weston, for 10 points, all in what year? Riggs.
1921.
1927. It is the only freshwater lake to contain both sharks and swordfish. It's located between the Great Lakes and Lake Titicaca in South America, and it's named for the country in which it is located. For 10 points, name this 31...
Nicaragua.
Barons, Logan.
Nicaragua.
Lake Nicaragua is the answer. That's 10 points, and here's the 30-point bonus. Let's build a horse. I will name 6 parts of a horse's leg. Then for 5 points apiece, put those 6 parts together in the right order from top to bottom. The 6 are the elbow, the knee, the pastern, the forearm, the cannon, and the fetlock.
Cannon, forearm, elbow, pastor, knee, forearm.
I think we can give you 5 points for forearm. That was the only one in the right position.
Yeah.
Am I not right, Judge? Elbow, forearm. You got that right. Knee, cannon, fetlock, and pastor. So 5 points then on that bonus. For a quick 10 points, teams, identify the Russian-born author of Ada, Pale Fire, The Eye, and Speak, Memory. Barons, Logan.
Asimov.
No, that's not correct. Weston. Riggs.
Tolstoy.
No, Vladimir Nabokov. Here's a 10-point toss-up. Like other vitamins, this one is necessary for good health, but too much of it can be dangerous. Polar bear liver, for instance, is so rich in this fat-soluble vitamin that it is poisonous to humans. For 10 points, what is this vitamin which prevents night blindness? Nee, Logan.
Vitamin A.
That's right. Here's a 30-point bonus. Paul Volcker recently stepped down as chairman of the Federal Reserve. For 10 points each during his 8-year tenure, have these economic indices gone up or down? Interest rates.
Down.
Inflation.
Down.
Unemployment.
Down.
Up. 20 points though. Her 1964 visit to Quebec led to a violent clash between protesters and police known as Punch-In Saturday. Her 1987 visit was as staid and proper as she is. For 10 points, who is she? Nee, Logan.
Margaret Thatcher?
No, Weston. Queen Elizabeth II. When Rocky Marciano retired, teams, he left the ring the unbeaten heavyweight champ. Who, for 10 points, was his successor? Bacalar's, Logan.
Gene Tunney.
No. Weston? Floyd Patterson. 2 of the hills upon which this European city was originally built are the Palatine and Capitoline. For 10 points, name the city. Nee, Logan.
Athens.
No. Weston? Rome. Here lies one whose name was writ in water. This ironic epitaph was written for himself by one of England's greatest poets, author of Hyperion, Endymion, and Lamia. For 10 points, name him. That was John Keats. A record 39 candidates filed for the 1988 New Hampshire presidential primary teams, all of them meeting the constitutional minimum age of 45, or rather 35. The one meeting that requirement with 45 years to spare. Now for 10 points, who is this 80-year-old former governor who made his 8th bid for the presidency? Harold Stassen. It traditionally has an arm, a bill, a stock, a shank, a gravity knee. Logan.
A gun?
No, that's not correct. Weston, a gravity band, a crown, a ring, and also a fluke. For 10 points, what is this necessarily heavy object? That would be an anchor. An anchor. Frederick Sanger, Francis Ashton, Otto Wallach, Sir William Ramsay, Linus Pauling, and Marie Curie all won the same Nobel Prize. For 10 points, what was the category?
Physics.
Barron's. Logan.
Physics.
No. Weston? Chemistry. More than 10,000 protesters took to the streets of this capital city last March 15th to demand greater freedoms. Previously, revolutionaries had seized control of the city in 1848, 1918, and 1956. For 10 points, teams, name this Iron Curtain city on the Danube. Barascus, rather, pardon me.
Czechoslovakia.
No, that's not correct. Weston, any idea? Pinkham.
Warsaw?
No, it was Budapest, Hungary. In his 1977 autobiography, he admitted, "I have fantasized at one time or another about anchoring the evening news, socking away the money for a few years." He also wrote that, "No anchorman I know can survive if his ratings are low." For 10 points, who is the CBS newsman who has since realized his fantasy? Nee, Logan.
Dan Rather?
That's 10 points. There's a 20-point potential bonus for Logan. 10 points apiece, name these British prime ministers. He replaced Churchill in 1945 and led the 6-year Labour government that established the British welfare state.
At me?
Can we accept that?
Say it again?
At me.
I don't think so.
Clement Attlee. Attlee. He was Britain's only Welsh prime minister and led the nation from war to peace, 1916 to 22.
De Gaulle.
That was David Lloyd George. Teams, Goat Island is located in the middle of Niagara Falls. That buzzer means we reached the conclusion of our 15th game of High Quiz Bowl. Back to award our scholarships right after this short break.
When the pain is new, or the town is new, sometimes it's as easy as calling and talking it over with a nurse. Maybe you need a specialist, or want a new doctor, or a second opinion. Family Health Resources. We'll make all the arrangements. For answers to your health questions, call 785-7155. Gunderson Clinic and Lutheran Hospital, La Crosse.
Did you know that nonprofit organizations can earn money for trips, uniforms, equipment, and more at Red and White? They can. By collecting the labels of quality Red and White brand products, participating Red and White grocers will pay 3 cents for each label collected and turned in. It's that easy. And those collecting labels will enjoy the high-quality Red and White brand products deliver. So register your nonprofit organization at a Red and White food store and start collecting today. The Red and White Label Redemption Program. It's money in the bank.
What was the end result of Game 15 of High Quiz Bowl, Paul?
The score was Logan 195, Weston 30.
Well, let's award our scholarships first to Miss Riggs of Weston.
Becky, here are 2 $500 scholarships renewable for St. Mary's. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yep.
And Mr. D of Logan, if you could come over and join us, please, and accept your scholarship.
Dana, here are 2 $1,000 scholarships renewable. You're welcome.
Well, Paul, another good game of High Quiz Bowl in the record books.
Yes.
Next week here on High Quiz Bowl, Toma versus Lafarge. Hope to see you then.
I will be here.
Hope to see all of you folks with us next week, right here.